Strange New Worlds sets up another member of Kirk's classic Star Trek Enterprise crew. Star Trek Strange New Worlds has become a brilliant love letter to the franchise's golden age. As it explores the early voyages of the USS Enterprise under Captain Christopher Pike, the show walks a delicate line, staying true to canon while expanding the stories of characters who shaped the universe long before Captain Kirk took command. And now, in a quiet but deliberate move, Strange New Worlds has laid the groundwork for the eventual arrival of another iconic character from Kirk's Star Trek crew. While Strange New Worlds already features legacy characters like Spock, Uhura, Nurse Chapel, and even James T. Kirk himself in a recurring role, Season 3 subtly begins setting the stage for the entrance of another critical figure, Montgomery Scotty Scott, the legendary chief engineer of the Enterprise. The seeds of his arrival have already been planted, and it's not just a matter of when, but how. Scotty's presence already confirmed. Scotty isn't a mystery in Strange New Worlds anymore. Season 2's finale, Hegemony, introduced a version of Scotty played by Martin Quinn. Though he appeared only briefly, his presence during the Gorn attack on Parnassus Beta was no throwaway cameo. It was calculated fan service mixed with narrative strategy. This Scotty was a junior engineer, inventive and sharp, helping the crew during a crisis in true Trek fashion. Unlike Kirk, who's slowly been worked into the timeline as a developing character, Scotty's arrival was more sudden. But now, Strange New Worlds Season 3 is in a perfect position to flesh out his story. His talents are already known to viewers, and clearly to Starfleet as well. By setting up Scotty's early association with the Enterprise, the series is laying the groundwork for his eventual promotion to the position he'll one day hold under Kirk. The engineering gap on the Enterprise. One of the most noticeable absences in Strange New Worlds is a permanent chief engineer. Season 1 featured Hemmer, a blind Eaner who quickly became a fan favorite, but he died heroically in the season finale. Since then, the Enterprise has been without a consistent engineering lead. Season 2 tried to fill this void temporarily with Pelia, played by Carol Kane. While quirky and endearing, Pelia's role never truly replaced Hemmer's in a permanent sense. Instead, she served more as a transitional figure, guiding the younger crew, especially Uhura and Ortegas, with her centuries-old wisdom. This open engineering position almost feels intentional. Could the series be keeping the seat warm for Scotty? It's not a stretch to believe that Starfleet, or even Captain Pike, might call on the brilliant young engineer introduced in Hegemony to join the crew full-time. After all, with mounting threats from the Gorn and other dangers, the Enterprise needs a miracle worker more than ever. Season 3's clues are already there. Even in the earliest promotional materials for Strange New Worlds Season 3, eagle-eyed fans have noticed subtle teases. Visual schematics shown in trailers hint at engineering system overhauls and experimental warp modifications, classic Scotty territory. There's also an increased focus on shipboard infrastructure problems and malfunctions, suggesting that the ship's mechanical systems are heading for a crisis point that only a true engineer can resolve. Beyond the tech, the show is focusing heavily on legacy. Uhura, now more seasoned, reflects on her role in the communications hub. Nurse Chapel is evolving into the calm, capable officer seen in the original series. Even Spock is gradually adopting the measured persona fans expect. Scotty's emergence fits perfectly into this transitional narrative. The Enterprise is slowly becoming Kirk's Enterprise, and each piece of that future puzzle is falling into place. Martin Quinn's Scotty, the right choice? Casting Scotty was no easy feat. James Doohan, who originated the role, is a Star Trek legend. His accent, humor, and passion made Scotty more than just a background character. He was the heart of the ship. Martin Quinn's brief performance was subtle but promising. He nailed the Scottish brogue, adding just the right amount of humor and resourcefulness without turning it into caricature. If Quinn returns in Season 3 or later, fans will likely see him in a more fully realized role. His interactions with Pelia, who taught engineering at Starfleet Academy and mentioned past students, might be a vital link. Could Quinn's Scotty be one of her former students? That connection would be an easy and organic way to bring him into the Enterprise's fold. It also maintains continuity while giving Pelia a narrative reason to pass the torch. The slow march toward Kirk's crew. One of the smartest things Strange New Worlds is doing is avoiding a rushed assembly of the TOS team. It's taking its time, letting each character emerge naturally through the storyline. This makes their arrivals more impactful. We didn't meet Spock as Kirk's science officer, we met him as Pike's trusted advisor. Uhura began as a cadet, finding her footing and learning how to serve. Even Kirk isn't the same swashbuckling captain we know yet. He's still figuring out who he is. Scotty joining this ensemble would represent another milestone in this slow evolution. By not parachuting him directly into a chief engineer role, the show respects canon while allowing modern audiences to appreciate who he is before he becomes the miracle worker. He needs time to earn his reputation. And Strange New Worlds is uniquely positioned to show us how he gets there. A timeline that makes sense. In terms of Star Trek canon, Scotty's official service aboard the Enterprise under Kirk begins around 2265. Strange New Worlds is currently operating a few years prior to that, giving ample time for the show to bring Scotty aboard and develop his backstory. Whether Pike brings him on as a junior engineer or Starfleet assigns him to assist with advanced propulsion systems, his inclusion won't violate canon, it will enrich it. This also opens doors to explore his relationships. How does Scotty initially get along with Spock? What early mishaps lead him to develop his near-religious devotion to the Enterprise's engines? How do his improvisational methods contrast with more by-the-book officers? These are character-defining elements that fans have only heard about. Now they could witness them unfold firsthand. Engineering as a story engine, Scotty's arrival also helps solve one of the show's biggest challenges, engineering-focused storylines. Much of Strange New Worlds has leaned on medical and command narratives, with Dr. M'Benga, Nurse Chapel, Pike, and Spock taking narrative center stage. The bridge crew is vibrant and well-developed. But the engineering bay remains more of a backdrop than a lived-in location. Bringing Scotty into the spotlight changes that. His style, improvisational, high stakes, and laced with technical jargon, is tailor-made for Star Trek's brand of problem-solving. Episodes centered on catastrophic warp core malfunctions, alien tech misfires, or rescue missions needing wild technical fixes would come alive with Scotty at the center. His character provides narrative opportunities and tonal balance, injecting humor during crisis, technical know-how, and unfiltered enthusiasm. Thematic significance. Beyond the technical and narrative considerations, Scotty's inclusion aligns with the deeper themes of Strange New Worlds, legacy, mentorship, and evolution. Each member of the TOS crew represents a piece of what makes Starfleet great. Spock brings logic, Chapel compassion, Uhura curiosity, and Kirk daring. Scotty? He brings ingenuity, the spirit of solving the impossible. Introducing him now not only continues the show's homage to Trek history, but also reinforces its message, that the future is built by people who believe in working together, pushing boundaries, and thinking outside the box. Scotty is the embodiment of that ethos. Giving him a narrative arc from bright, scrappy engineer to beloved icon deepens the